Memorial Day, ever since its first general observance in 1868, has been a day of national meditation. In our time, it has become a period of heart-searching. We glance back over the country's past, looking for the spotlight of past achievements to throw a guiding light into the future. We now stand on this Memorial Sunday in the presence of those who have stepped before us and ahead of us into the life beyond. According to our faith, they are not dead, but they are gloriously alive. And if it wishes so, they can still serve us. They are still powerful in our lives. We idolize them, recalling some virtue of trait, of character, which each of them possess. And by such idolization, we become better individuals. In days of difficulty, we touch the tokens of their former presence with us, or visiting their graves. We draw strength from them and go again about our own tasks, meeting our own responsibilities with higher courage and deeper fortitude. We ought to learn that our dead heroes gave their lives for a principle. Their country was so precious, its standards so high, that when threatened, no sacrifice, however costly, even life itself, was too great a price to pay. But I feel that we need, yes, we need individuals today in political life, in commercial life, and in religious life, who will stand securely upon such personal, moral, Christian convictions. Amen. It was worth the price. Today, our country is suffering from the overdose of self-abuse and self-depreciation. You know, there was a time when our commencement speeches and our 4th of July orations reverberated with unrestrained and unbounded self-adulation and congratulations. Anything American was the greatest of its kind under the sun. That unlicensed self-praise was not altogether good, but it was not nearly so bad as what we have and have today. Unrestrained, unbounded self-abuse and self-degradation. How many times, yes, how many times have we heard America is wrong? Other nations are right. We are the culprits. We are the warmongers. This is a libel against this nation. It is a libel on the heroic dead and the honorable living. with a price, and that price was not paid in vain. The sacrifice bore its fruits then, and bears it now, in a nation which, with all of its faults, and with all of its sins and shortcomings, is nevertheless a nation where even in the present day, the average citizen has a degree of personal freedom of action and material comfort and well-being. Thank God, yes, thank God that you and I have the freedoms that were preserved for all of us by individuals who gave their lives that we may have liberty. But these have done and do still more than give us a virtue to idolize, some tokens to strengthen us, a way to follow. They have placed into our hands an inheritance, a heritage. I am thinking of those who have died for their country, who have preceded us, the line that reaches back into history. How best can we honor their memory? By accepting from them that which they gave us. By appreciation of our inheritance. By evaluating it at its true worth. By passing it on, this heritage of ours, enhanced to our children and to our children's children. And it can be done only with the help of God. Since the days of the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, the war with Spain, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq, Afghanistan. These have brought younger veterans to stand uncovered beside new rows of graves to honor all those who gave their lives that this beloved country might survive. America, yes, America is reborn every single day of her life by the purposes we form, the conceptions we entertain, the hopes with God that we cherish. We live in our vision. Memorial Day ought then to mean more than simply the casting of flowers upon heroes' graves. Memorial Day ought to be a time when we see, as in a vision, the thousands, the millions of heroes who compass us about as a great cloud of witnesses. Let me say this to you. Never, never in the history of this nation or any other nation has there been such an exhibition of the sense of social obligation, moral and Christian responsibility. Such a response to the appeal of others' needs, such an outpouring of generosity as we had seen in this country during and after World War II. Our men and women fought and gave their lives to stop tyranny in this world. And when that was over, we gave of our wealth, our hearts, and our souls to rebuild those nations that we fought against. They tell me that all the schools destroyed in Iraq have now been rebuilt by our American forces.
Amen.
I'm going to ask you a question. What other nation ever did this? America only. The greatest nation in the whole world.
Amen.
There may be those who believe that this nation is rotten at its heart, and her day is fast approaching the sunset. But there are millions upon millions of others who do not believe that this nation is going to the dogs. And they will not stand idly by and witness the dissolution or its demise. And I don't care what other people say. America is a Christian country.
Amen.
We honestly believe that this nation is a custodian of great treasures for all peoples. Not without a price. These treasures were handed down to us, and there are many left who are willing to pay the price again for safeguarding these treasures and handing them down undiminished and undefiled to succeeding generations. Ladies and gentlemen, and those of you who serve in the armed forces of the United States, I, as a chaplain in the United States Army, with service in Korea and in Vietnam during the fighting, stand before you today as a humble servant of yours. I thank you for the sacrifices you made and the hardships you went through when duty called in order to preserve liberty, justice, right, and peace. But you know, I have a hard time to forgive those who always demand their rights, always demand justice, but forget that with rights and justice goes duty and obligation. Duty, honor, country, God. thank God for those who have given their lives, and you who bore the hardships and the pain, especially when your buddy or close friend suddenly left a void in your life, killed in action. I, as a hospital chaplain at the 3rd Surgical Hospital in Vinh Chuy, in the Mekong Delta of Vietnam, how many times hearing and seeing those helicopters coming in, bringing the wounded and bringing those in who were killed in action. And then I would look up and say, my God, why? I also thank God for all the mothers, fathers, wives, children, and loved ones who silently in their hearts prayed for those who were away from home. All of you fought to preserve freedom for our country and to bring liberty and peace to all mankind. I had other things to say, but my time is getting very short. So I know my wife is going to say, so I'm going to have to stop on that thing. But anyway, you know how I feel.